Well, hi, folks. It's Same Car Sunday, and welcome to Multi-21's weekly Same Car event. It's a 3-race sprint featuring the Radical. This promises to be a blast. We have a whole lot of drivers today who know these vehicles well. Every one of these boys is fast. And it does promise to be a penalty-filled race because we are at the Red Bull Ring today. And the Red Bull Ring, in case you don't know, is notorious for dishing out penalties. Sorry, I had to close my door. I apologize for being on late. We are in qualifying right now. We had some connection issues, second week in a row. I don't know what's going on with my ISP, but we're not happy with them right now. Anyway, here we are. And Mark Burnup's just laid down the fastest lap of the 137.9. Got about 6.5 minutes to go here, as you can see in the lower left-hand corner. Pardon me, we have about 7 minutes to go here. 7, maybe 8 minutes to go. It's a 15-minute session. So currently, Mark is still posting the fastest time. Looks like Ivan has just picked up a fastest sector. And Willie Hamilton has just laid down a cracking time. 138.6. So that puts him just 3/4 of a second behind Mark. See how Glob is doing. Glob has put down a 138.9. Splatter has put down a 139. Firewood Man's put down a 139, just a 10th off. Justin's put a 139. And Ivan is getting ready to come around. He's got 1, 2, 3 turns to go. And his sector times appear to be better than anybody's. On Firewoodman's just got himself a penalty. As I said before, we're going to see a lot of that today. Okay, so here comes Ivan down the last corner. Let's see what he's got. And who is trailing you, Ivan? It looks like Willie's right on your tail. He used your slipstream to get past you here, bud. Oh, it's on now. So, yeah, Willie Ham is just beating Ivan's mark by about 3/10. And still on his pipes. And he picked up a half second, so that's not going to help him. Might want to just dive into the pits. So his last time was a 137.6. And Mark has he put a time down? Yeah, he's just, of course he has. And he's just third. And Ivan has put down a 138.0. I expect that to drop a bit. Although I haven't seen Ivan race this car. I don't think I have. This is just a little bit different than some of the GR3 and GR4 cars you're going to see in this game. This car can get a little bit squirrely. It feels pretty good, going along real nice, getting good traction, good downforce, and all of a sudden, you don't. All of a sudden, this little car gets a mind of its own. You guys got to stay inside the white lines here. It's very important. Don't know who might be listening right now, but if you're listening, keep it in the white lines. Oh, Ivan, you're gonna catch one for that. I think some of them change. Like, not all of them require you to stay within the white line. I think you can stay within the hashes and be okay on a few of them. Okay, Willie Ham's, let's see, staying at 137.6. And Mark so far has not posted a faster time. He's just coming out on new tires, new softs. Willie has just put new rubber on. Justin has new rubber. Oh, and my mistake. I forgot this is not a tire wear series. We do not have tire. It's a straight sprint. And here comes Thomas the Tank Engine. Really nails that corner. You can see it get a little bit upset there when it hits the berm. So he was well to keep that thing together. That's a really easy spot to get off, especially in this car. Sets real low. It seems to have very firm suspension. Okay, so he's a little bit, yeah, he was on that berm there. And it did upset the car a little bit there as well. But it does look like this could end up being his best time if he can hold it together in the next few corners. Meanwhile, Keith Madge has gone up into fourth, 138.2. Ivan's still at 138.0. Mark at, gosh, he's going to be at 137 and change. And Willie's at 137.6. I'm thinking Mark's about 137.9. Okay, and Rob just dropped his fastest time. 138.8. So Thomas the Tank is looking faster than usual. No, trying to hold it together. Yeah, he's definitely going to get a penalty for that one. There it goes. Yeah, whole second. Ouch. A whole second 0.5. He must have had another one there in the bank. Yikes. Yeah, you might want to just dive into the pits, man. Yeah, we got about 3 minutes to go. So, yeah, if you want to get a faster time, you're going to need to get it done pretty quick. And so we got Justin in the rears at best times of 139.6. Well, let's take a look at his livery today. What are we sporting here? Let's see here. Futurama, cool. There's Zoidberg. Yeah, he's got all of them here. There's Leela. Justin goes by the name Kobayashi Maru, which, if anybody is familiar with Star Trek, that's kind of a big deal. Captain Kirk's the only one to complete that. Unfortunately, there aren't enough letters in the nicknames you can sport to give him the H, so he got as close as he could. A little bit wide in that turn. Gonna need to cut this one real tight. There you go. There you go. And just clip the white right here. Beautiful. Justin's using a controller. So he's hanging on pretty well. Hit the brake right there at that 50-meter mark. It's a little bit wide. I think he's going to be okay. He cuts it real tight here. Doesn't quite clip the edge as much as he needs to, but this looks like it's going to be a real good time. 8. Just barely. Okay, 139.2, and that's going to be his best time, I do believe. Good run. Okay, so we got Justin and Glava about a second and a half behind each, so they're going to want to put down a hot lap here. Splatter's still sitting at 138 and change. Firewood Man, Keith Madge, West Country Firewood, has a 138.2. He's trying to hang on to that thing. There you go. Yeah, you got off the white line there. Let's see if it costs you. Nope, the Red Bull Ring gods are smiling favorably upon Keith Madge, and not so much Mark. In the, oh my gosh, he's got his best livery ever. Ay ay ay. Oh, Mark, thank you so much. He's gone with the Flower Power livery. I don't care if you're wrecked, buddy. That is awesome. Here's Willie. We're on your final lap. Willie's got his Sky livery. I gotta ask him about that. I'm not sure why he's carrying that, but it's very cool. It's very clean, great color scheme. And then Ivan, he is probably, of all the Multi-21 drivers, the most proud of his liveries, because all of his liveries are custom. He makes all of them, and Um, most of them are worth stealing. I wish he'd share his liveries with the general public if he's not doing it right now. He makes some terrific liveries. All right, we're just about here at the end. What do we got, guys? Here's Willie trying to make his. Oh, it looks like he may not be. Oh, he is at full speed. Okay, all right. So Willie is trying to push a hot lap down. See if he can get past Ivan, and he is only 13 thousandths behind his last go. So this is for all the marbles right here. Still got 4 cars on the track. I don't know if I have enough volume for the car sound, so let's see. Let's just add a teeny little bit so you can hear the tire squeals. It's a little bit wide. Oh yeah, okay, that's iffy. Yeah, it's a 1 second penalty. Doggone it. You would have had it too, the 137. You just could have held on to it. All right, well, great job, fellas. Here are your results. All right, of our 7 drivers, Ivan by a paper's width just sneaks past Willie Ham with the 137.527, and Willie Ham very insanely close to the 137.540. Mark very close, less than half a second gap at 137.9. We get into the 138s with Fire Woodman, 0.2, 0.8, and 2.9s. And Justin and Glava, Justin just passed Glava to get P6. Very, very close. And as you can see, there's just a 1.4 second gap between all the drivers. Everybody's fast today. Pardon me. So we should be getting started with the race in just a couple minutes or less. I hope my sound volume is okay. I've been having a little bit of trouble with this mic. So if anybody is listening to me and wants to give me some feedback, I'd be happy to hear it. Okay, it's getting ready to race. 1 second. Here we go. We are spectators. Let's get the race info up. Okay, false starts are penalized, as you can see. Waiting for the lights to go out. It's lights out and away we go. With Ivan in the lead, he has the outside line. This gives Willie, and really anybody in P2, the advantage in the corner. And oh, Ivan is wanting to he's wanting to keep that position in the worst way. That's good hard racing, keeping it fair. But boy, they are side by side, and they've got a heck of a pack going. We've got Willie, Ivan, followed closely by Mark. Willie does have the outside line here. Let's see if Ivan's able to sneak in on him. And right now he has. And outside line just wasn't going to work for any of the drivers. And here's Mark trying to sneak up on the outside of Willie, coming into that big roundhouse curve. This is a really tight corner. There's a big runoff. If you get too far out, carry too much speed into it, it's bye-bye position. And Ivan just barely keeps it out of the gravel, but maintains his lead over Willie. Willie, Mark, and Keith have formed a real nice slipstream train with Justin on Keith's heel. No, Keith is trying to sneak in on Mark. Doesn't quite have the stink to pull it off. Everybody is really close now. The glove is starting to fall back just a little bit. What has happened to Rob? Rob must have had a mishap there in Thomas the Tank Engine, because he is really trailing far back. Got a 12-second gap between him and Ivan. So, man, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened to you, Rob. That is a shame. But it's early. We're still in the first sprint. Tires ain't going to wear off. Still anybody's race. And Ivan is pulling away a little bit with an 0.8 of a second gap. I think Willie may still be in the slip, but I don't think these cars have a really long slipstream. So we shall see. Still very close racing. Looks like Fire Woodman is trying to sneak in on Mark. He almost makes it stick, but just can't quite hold on to it without touching. So he decided to back off, which was a smart move. That gives Justin a shot, and Justin is now on Fire Woodman's heel. Look at that. And here he comes, getting the inside. Can't quite get his nose in there. But boy, is he making it close. So here's your race within a race, boys and girls. Glava is still trying to make up that gap. He's got about a 2-second gap here. He's starting to close in a little bit. If Justin and Fire Woodman get into a battle here, it could be a good thing for Glava. Let's see what's happening with Rob back here. He's still got a 6.5-second gap, so whatever happened to him was harsh. So Ivan's gap is reduced by 1/10 of a second, not very much, but that is going to put Willie in his slip, and he is gaining now. He's getting a little bit of a run here. And if both of the guys can nail this corner, it should make for an interesting haul on this straightaway. But it looks like Ivan got just a little bit better exit, and he is extending his lead. Still within a second, still anybody's go for P1. And Willie gets a great exit that time. Ivan got a little bit loose, and Willie is now inside a 1/2 second. Trying to work his way in there. I think he's trying to sell Ivan on a dummy there, but Ivan's not having it. But Willie is well into the slipstream. And Ivan's just getting a little bit loose there. Everybody's running the same car, same tires, no wear. It just seems to be have a little bit of a time hanging on to it at the moment. I don't know if he's got dirty tires. He might have gone off into the grass, the gravel at some point. Whatever it was, though, it has really advantaged Willie. I think both guys gonna get through clean. Yeah, and Willie's got through clean as well. Here comes Mark, Keith, and Justin's lost a little bit of space. And Glava's just about 3 seconds behind Justin. And Rob is closing in ever so slowly, but he is starting to make up some of that time. He had about 6.5 seconds a lap ago, and he's cut it by 2. So here's the race, y'all, and fortunately for us, it's out front. So y'all enjoy this race to the race to P1, and I am gonna take care of a little bit of business. So y'all hang on, be right back. All right, folks. Sorry about the dead space. It looks like Willie has had a real mishap. I hope you caught it. I wasn't able to. I'm a 64-year-old man, and I need my pills. All right. So Ivan very comfortably in the lead, but boy, this really helped Mark out. He's going to get some serious points if he's able to hang on to this. Don't know what the heck happened to Willie. I really need to get a keyboard that works on the PlayStation 5 so I can start doing replays. That would be the bomb. So I haven't struggled to keep it inside the lines on that corner. Much better on that second sweeper, but boy howdy, he really got loose. This car can be a handful, without a doubt. So Mark is back about 4 seconds. And with a 4-second gap to Keith Madge, Firewood Man. Here's our race. It's between Willie and Justin now. Justin's racing close, keeping it clean. About a hair's width between the two of them. Willie takes that spot. Justin gets a little loose, but hangs on. Oh, very cool. And now Willie is setting his sights on Keith. And Justin is saying, not so fast, buddy. I know how to do this corner. Misses the sleeping policeman. Gets a great exit. And working his way toward Willie's bumper. And Willie is working his way to Keith's wing. So the race for P4 is well on. Let's take a look at Keith's livery. Championship leader. Well done, Keith. Keep reminding everybody. And here we go. Oh, Willie's got the inside line. Not quite close enough. He wasn't able to sneak a nose in there. West Country Firewood. You're in the southwest end of the UK. Give Keith a call for all your firewood needs, bud. And Willie is just sticking to him like glue. Gonna try to catch him here in the sweeper. Got the outside line. That's not super beneficial coming up into this corner. But Willie, oh, he takes the inside line. Has to back off to save his car and everybody else's race. So wise, Willie. Very wise. These boys are good drivers. So they know how to race close. They've been doing it for a while. Doesn't mean nothing bad happens because, you know, it's still racing. But, yeah, look at this side by side going into turn one. That sets Keith out really wide, so that puts him back just a touch. Look at this, 3 wide. And Justin sneaks through the middle, does the Moses maneuver. Parts the Red Sea and steals P3. So, currently a podium position for Justin. Yes, that was brilliant, super sneaky, and I'm sure those guys never saw that one coming. My goodness, that was hot. More of that, please. So, Lilu and Zoidberg grease up the sides of that car and sneak through the middle. And that leaves Willie and Firewoodman in a battle for P4. That doesn't mean Willie isn't making a little bit of headway. He's still well within slipstream range. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on the straight, particularly with Keith and Willie. Because Keith is just a teeny bit closer. So if Willie's going to get past Justin, he's going to have to fight off. He's going to have to fight off Keith. And just as I say that, Keith goes very wide and likely he's going to pick up. Yeah, picks up a half second. So that's unfortunate. I think he was just trying to hang on to the car at that point. So that's going to put him back on his heels a little bit. Oh, man, what happened? Oh, we got dropped. We got dropped. Oh, my gosh. Oh, boys. I tell you what, I'm really glad we got that on video. That was something. I hope that wasn't just me. I mean, it may have been. Actually, I hope it was just me because I'm just seriously hoping these guys are still racing. Like I said, I've been having some connection issues, and if it was me, I do apologize. But yeah, they're still racing, so it was just me. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so we're back. Very good. Let's get the display set up. Here we go. All right. Well, we're back in the race. Apologies to everybody. We still have a killer race going on for P3 from the look of things. And Justin's still trying to make up some space here. Now, for some reason, I'm not getting time. Something's busted. Because this looks like a replay. Yeah, something has gone cattywampus here on me. But let's just continue on. I'm not going to know what the lap is or anything like that. And I think after the race, we'll go ahead. I will go ahead and reset everything so we can continue on. Now, I'm not going to know what the actual gaps are here, but we do know that Ivan's in P1, Mark's in P2. A great distance behind. All right, so this thing is horked. And I do believe we are going to have to reset. My deepest apologies for anybody who's watching it or listening to the stream, but I am going to have to drop out and rejoin. So, here we go. Let's see if I can find my room here. There it is. All right. All right, let's get back on track and see where we're at. Ivan's still in P1, Mark's still in P2, William P3, Justin P4, and Rob has come from way back to pick up 5th position. Looks like Keith, when he took that penalty, got knocked back pretty far, and unfortunately Glava has gone from mid-pack to the rear, so we can assume there was a little off might have gone on there. And yeah, it's still not working correctly, so my apologies. Let's see what we can glean from this. It looks like yeah, it looks like something is really messed up here because everybody's out of order. There's no way that Ivan's in 4th place. I think this thing has really nosedived on us. So Justin, if you're listening, if you could reset the game, since I don't have any control over that part of it, I think that may be a help. So it looks like we're going to need the race reset. I mean, is this actually how it played out? This seems like it's absolutely backwards from where it was. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, I don't think I don't think this is the way it played out. It just doesn't seem possible. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, I missed an awful lot of it, but it's pretty cattywampus. Here's Mark. All right, now it looks like we've got our position set correctly, finally. But oh boy. Yeah, it's given Ivan the victory. So sorry about the issues, folks. I think I'm gonna have to restart my machine. Something has really gone wrong. So if you'll bear with me, I am going to do a reset before the next race. So please bear with me. I'll be right back. right, we are back. Did a full reset on my PlayStation 5. It looks like they got practice going on. So whoever's listening, who's in the race, back on. Looks like it might be okay. Let's see if anybody's on track. No, everybody's in the pit still. But Justin or anybody else who may be listening, whenever you want to start the race, I should have the stream ready. Go up there. All right, so we're going to go into the next sprint. This is sprint 2 of 3, and it will be in reverse order. Each one of these sprints, the first sprint goes by grid order in terms of how fast you place in qualifying, and then you go in reverse order for the next 2 races. All right, go to exit. The race will begin shortly. And we're ready. All right. Let's get the display set. Everybody's revving up, getting into launch mode, ready to rock and roll. So, grid position 1 is going to be Glava. Firewoodman's going to have position 2, so he'll have the inside track. So if he can get a good start, and we'll see. Yeah, it looks like he actually pulls out quicker, but Glava gets a better start. So Glava should, if he can keep the inside line, should easily be able to get through. And he does. Justin and Firewoodman go side by side. Now Justin's got a great run. Or had a great run on Glava. Looks like he backed off just a little bit. But man, I thought he was going to take it. And Firewoodman and Willie Ham side by side. Willie with the inside track for the next corner. And boy, both of them just a little bit of touch there, not too much. Both of them keep it together and keep it clean. And Firewoodman makes it stick. So it looks like we're going to be really, really tight here. You've got the fastest drivers from the last race currently bringing up the rear. So get ready for a lot of overtakes. And they are bunched up like a can of tomatoes. But Justin has just picked up the lead and stretching it. Just somehow gets past Glava, and he's starting to take off. And Glava is going to have to battle the whole field behind him, which is going to bode well for Justin. This is good news for him for sure. Now he's lost a little bit of his gap, but now Firewoodman takes over Glava's position, gets P2. Now Ivan gets P3 and is gunning for Keith. And who just passed? Was that Willie who passed Glava just now? That was Willie Ham, just past Glava. Glava gets the inside line. Can't get a nose in. And now Mark is coming up on Glava. Oh, we got Ivan taking the outside line here on Willie. Willie's trying to sneak in on Glava here. Gets the inside. Gets his nose out. Oh, gets his elbows out. Pushes Ivan a little bit wide. That's not going to be a penalty for Ivan. It's just racing. But now the gap is less than 2/10 and closing. 84 thousandths. Now they're nose to nose. And Ivan takes the corner. And Willie gets his nose in again to get the inside. Now Willie takes P3. But the way this track works is you can get your nose into one corner and just get all out of joint in the next corner. So Willie and Ivan are putting on a hell of a show. Meanwhile, this is just playing well for Justin and for Keith in the red West Country Firewood car. Ivan and Willie are just beating each other to smithereens here. I mean, it's good racing. Nobody's being unfair, but I mean, this has got to have their hair standing up. But still, it's anybody's race at the moment. We've got a nice slipstream train going on from P1 to P4. Then Splatter is about 2.5 seconds behind his nearest opponent in front. And Mark has picked up a half-second penalty, but is still trying like crazy to make a race of it. And it looks like the Barbie car is aiming for the outside. Probably not the best place to be into this tightest turn on the track. So he backs away, playing it smart, playing it cool. And everybody, meanwhile, up front is giving it full beans. Now Ivan takes P3 away from Firewoodman. Willie and Ivan both get past Firewoodman, who was previously in P2. And now our two fastest guys from the last race are gunning for P1 and Justin. So Justin's going to need to keep it cool. Willie is keeping it real tight. Let's get into his car here. Justin takes the corner by moving to the outside. He somehow found the fastest part of the track right there. But Willie's down the slipstream on the front straight. It looks like he's easily going to overtake that position. Maybe not so easily. Justin's staying right on his wing. Everybody's getting a little bit loose in that corner. And now he's getting something of a run. Let's see if he can get his nose in here. Yeah, he definitely gets his nose in. And he's got the advantage coming in. If he can make it. No, he can't, though. He gets a little bit too close to that sleeping policeman. And that takes the starch right out of him. So that gives Ivan a chance. But Ivan is sporting a 1.5 second penalty. Even so, I feel like Ivan is going to have to take this corner if he wants to have any shot at P1. We're currently on lap 4, so we should have about 6 laps to go. Of course, that's all going to depend on the average speed. So here comes Ivan to the sin bin, and Firewoodman picks up P3 off of Justin. Justin gets into a slide, just trying to hold it, and he and Keith are somehow able to manage their cars. And so Justin gets past Ivan after he takes his penalty. Let's see if Keith can do the same here. The corners, of course, are the great equalizers for penalties. And it looks like Ivan is going to hold on to his spot for now. Ivan is now on Justin's wing with just less than a tenth separating. Ivan gets the inside line into turn 1. Justin gets a little close. Looks like there was some contact there. A little bit of contact. And that is slowing down Ivan enough to let Keith take P3, at least temporarily. So going into turn 2, this is the tightest corner on the track once again. Ivan gets the inside line, does not hit the sleeping policeman. And that gives Splatter an opportunity to grab the inside and take P4 from Keith. And now Mark is just a couple of tenths, actually just a tenth off the back of Keith. Keith just maybe 2 tenths off the back of Splatter. So the race for P2 is just nuts. No penalties so far. There's a little bit of argy-bargy going on here. A lot of side-by-side racing. And everybody's keeping it clean. Ivan goes wide. He shouldn't incur a penalty for that because I think that was racing. And hopefully the game is smart enough to figure that out. So if he gets a penalty for that, it's a bloody travesty. Oh man, check it out. Glava, you need to get in on this action right here. Now, Justin goes wide. That could be a penalty for Justin. Looks like he got into the green there. But that spot right there, the penalties, the way the penalty system works on this track is a little odd. Sometimes it looks like you're going to get when you don't. Here comes Splatter on the inside to turn 1, and Splatter takes over P2 from way back. Thomas the Tank was back, I think, in P6, maybe P7, unless I'm thinking of the first race. But, man, he has really made a go of it. He's just making a meal of everybody else in the back here. And Mark tries for the outside. Looks like he's picked up a little bit of Justin's slipstream. He's going to see if he can make the outside stick, but can't quite pull it off. And that actually drops him back. Meanwhile, Keith takes a penalty, a full second. So he must have cut a corner pretty harshly to get nailed with the 1 second penalty. Let's see what's happening up front. Okay, so Splatter's picked up P2 from Justin. So we can see Justin's still holding on to P3, still holding on to his podium spot with about 5 laps to go. And so we're going to get into these 2 big left-handers. Fairly high-speed corners. It should make for an interesting setup, certainly back there for P3. And Mark gets the outside on Keith. Now, of course, Keith has got that penalty he has to serve, so just Keith moves over and everybody's cool. Mark trying to get in on Justin now as we come into the final corner here. And in the last turn, Mark gets a little bit out of shape. Not too bad. But he doesn't quite get the run on Justin that he was probably looking for, and the same holds for Justin on Splatter. So Splatter's got a good second on everybody. Mark, meanwhile, is picking up the pace. Mark cuts it a little close. We'll have to see if he gets nailed for that one. No. Nope. Penalty gods are smiling on you. But because he hit that bump so hard and had to, I'm sure he had to maneuver the wheel a little bit to oh, and Keith gets the inside. Yeah, I was going to say that slowed him down and gave Keith a run. And now Keith is on his wing, trying to make some hay from that little mistake on Mark's behalf. Mark is holding on for dear life with less than 3/10 separating Mark. And Mark gets out of shape again, gets into a little bit of a tank slapper. And that gives Fire Woodman P4. Meanwhile, Ivan has picked up a half second. And that's given Glava an opportunity to gain on the rest of the pack. And there's Willie Ham out in first place. Big lead, 8.5+ seconds. Huge lead on Splatter. So Rob in 4 laps is going to have a lot to make. Actually 3 laps. They're in the final corner now. So yeah, in the last turn, coming to the start-finish line, Rob's going to have to make up almost 9 seconds if he has any hope of getting P1 here. And it would probably take a fairly egregious mistake by Willie Ham. And there's Mark taking away P4 from Fire Woodman. Gets wide, gets up on the berm, and that gives Keith a shot. And now Keith takes P4, and Mark gets a penalty for his trouble. Got a little too tight. He's just, pulling his head back going, what just happened? So Mark is trying to sell Fire Woodman on the dummy. And Keith's saying, nah, not today. I've raced with you for too long, buddy. And now here comes Ivan up on Mark's pipe. So while all that was going on, Ivan was making up space. And Ivan clearly had a setback here that I must have missed. And Ivan takes P5 away from Mark. But Mark gets the inside track on the big sweeper and pulls P5 back in. Not for long, though. Ivan's got the inside track, and Mark has a penalty. So, while this is beautiful close racing, it's not going to amount to a whole lot for Mark at the moment. Mark does have a really, really long gap to Glava, but this is going to be a setback for sure. We're on lap 8. We are coming to the penultimate corner. Ivan sneaking up on Fire Woodman. Justin is trying to get into Splatter's slipstream. Be a tall order. He's going to have to hope for Splatter to goof up a corner here. Willie Ham is just running away with it at the moment. He's just keeping it clean, keeping it all together, trying to keep that radical from getting out of shape in any one of these corners. But he is holding on nicely to first place on the next to last lap. A 9.5 second gap to Splatter in P2. P2 has just opened up a 2 second gap to Justin. Justin, meanwhile, has opened up a 3 second gap to the rest of the field. So the fight at this moment is for P4. Ivan's picked up a full second. That is going to suck, because he is pulling away from the rest of the field. Unless he can get better than a full second, he's really going to be out of the running for P4 here. Here we are. We're about halfway, a little bit more than halfway down the track, and we got Ivan having to slow down. So let's see how that bodes for Keith. Okay, so he's taking his penalty. Here comes Keith to the inside, and easily takes that spot for Firewood, but not so easily as one might have thought, because Ivan just picked up the pace on him and just reversed the situation. Now he's going to get the outside track. Ivan so far hasn't been able to get a nose in. And that was the final lap for the boys, because Willie's just too far ahead. So Ivan is able to take P4 thanks to Willie's insurmountable lead. Justin gets the last podium position. Ivan gets P4. Keith P5, Mark P6, Lava P7. But Willie and Splatter are still technically in a race, but with a 12-second lead, unless Willie Ham finds some way to go off into the kitty litter and can't get restarted. I think we found our winner. And he's coming through the last two big sweepy left-handers. Clips the apex nicely on both ends. Stays well within the confines. It's great traction out of the corner. No fishtailing in the rear. Just keeping the car nice and settled. On to the final corner he goes. Stays well within the confines of the track again. Clips that last corner perfectly. And wins the race. Congratulations, Willie Ham. And Splatter's about 10 more seconds behind. It looks like we have our race finished. For whatever reason, it didn't give Splatter a chance to cross the line. But by raising himself 4 positions, Willie Ham takes the victory. Well done indeed. Oh, that was a great race. All right, well, let's get back. We got practice taking place. Of course, practice taking place just means folks are going to be sitting in the pits till the next race starts. So here are your results. Willie Ham just ran away with it. Splatter a distant second, about 12 seconds behind. It shows that he's running, but, you know, he was running when the race was called. Followed by Justin, the last podium spot. Then we have Ivan, Keith Firewoodman Madge, and Marky B. Burnip. And we have Glava, Robert Sarkozy. I hope I'm pronouncing that even close to correctly. So, excellent race, folks. We're going to get into the spectator spot and see who we got here. Yes, everybody's going to lay in the pits for a bit. Nobody needs new tires because there's no wear in this race. So I'm going to sit and wait until it is time. Yes, William, it was a fun race and very intense. You can say that again, Keith. Let me see. Wait for the race to come up. Let me see if I can go here and find the calendar. Actually, I have the wrong one up. So let me go find my other images here. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that before the race starts. Apologies. Because I was taking care of all those issues with my computer. I wasn't able to spend the time that I needed to get all of the information up that I might have wanted to. So while we're waiting, I am going to check tables and let you know. Here comes the race. All right, so we're just going to do that. All right, false starts are penalized, so keep your foot on the brake. So we have Glava starting out in P1, and we have Mark in P2 in the Flower Power Mobile. So this is going to be down to who gets the best start on the front row. And it looks like Mark took off a little bit quicker. He's turned his traction control off. Mark easily with the inside line. Let's see what Glava can do on the outside. Not very much. So that puts Mark into P1. Glava on his heels. Justin and Keith. And we are going 3 wide with the rest of the pack here. So Willie, Ivan, and Splatter are going 3 wide into the tightest turn on the track. This doesn't usually end well. Somehow they all make it stick and everybody gets through nice and clean. So that puts Keith into P2, followed by Splatter. Looks like Glava made out the worst. And here comes Willie on the inside to pick up P5 from Glava. And then here in the back we got Justin, who looks like he had a bit of a mishap here, but he is starting to settle in. And Mark pulls out to a 1-second lead for the moment. It's like Keith is starting to pick up a little bit of pace here. Now Keith gets a little out of shape, and now here comes Ivan, tacitly in P2. Has to take the outside line, and has to go way out because Keith had his nose in there. So keeping it clean and fair. Looks like Keith backed out for the moment, but Keith's getting a bit of a run now. And working on the inside. I don't know if he's trying to sell him a dummy or what he's doing here, but oh, he's getting awfully wide there. That might cost him. Let's